We live in an era of iPhones, Uber and Tesla, an age when it seems that new technology is changing the world. But this is not the first time that technology is sexy. In the late 90s, the rise of internet attracted just as much attention. Billions of dollars have been invested in young internet companies leading into the dot-com crash in the 2000s. Companies like Uber are startups on steroids. They are giant loss makers, burning billions of investors' dollars to keep growing. Very much like the 90s internet companies, they are exciting because they give a promise of revolutionary new technology which is transforming the world. Unlike the 90s dot-com companies, they have not sold their stocks to investors on the market at large. In other words, they are funded by private money, not by public markets. You see, after the 2007 financial crisis, there were very little investment opportunities because the markets were barely moving, numbed by the easy money pumped in by the world governments. When stock markets doesn't grow and lacks volatility, the ups and downs, it is hard to make money as investor. This, coupled with the new exciting technologies, meant that wealthy private investors began to invest billions in startups, which look way more sexy compared to the stock market. But the abundance of private capital means that there may be a startup bubble. These tech companies are not under any obligation to publish their results, unlike publicly listed businesses. Because few really understand its business model, it is entirely possible that Uber, for example, may never become profitable, regardless of how much it grows. When too much money is invested in things that are destined to fall, this is a definition of market bubble. The growth in the number of such startups on steroids, which are funded by private money, has surpassed all expectations. How can you bet against this bubble if the stocks of the startups are not publicly traded? You see, if you could return to the late 90s just before the dot-com crash, you could buy a future contract to sell the stock of the internet companies at a high price. Or you could borrow the stocks and sell them in the market. You cannot do this with private startups now. No one has yet come up with a way to bet against the startup bubble, apart from one, to exploit it. So let's set up a startup, no? You need an idea, an investment presentation, and a team of app developers from East Europe or India. Just remember, after you get that VC funding, go nuts and enjoy every single moment of it, because the bubble can be coming to its end. Thank you very much for watching. For more pointless videos, please subscribe by hitting this button.